the reason why we send in first click and then it changes it to last click is simply due to this here. Meta thinks that there's one person here and one person here. And it believes that person A went to the site and added something to cart. Then they hop over to their iPad and they go back to their cart and buy. Meta's like, well, these are two different people and one didn't work because it fails fingerprinting, right? If this is a person that is now lost in fingerprinting, that's the biggest reason why attribution doesn't work, is the entire journey is fragmented, is broken down, it's shattered because they look like individual people because they can't tie them together. So what we do is we say, watch this. This is FB click 1. So imagine like Facebook click ID equals 1. This is now Facebook click ID equals 2. And what Meta is going to think about is, okay, these are two different people if it can't string them together. So this person that clicked and went to the cart and I thought was really good, they died. Okay, well, that person that left that didn't work kind of looks like this person, so stop going after these people. Well, when I bring it back together, I say, no, Meta, this actually, don't look at that. That's wrong. That's incorrect. This isn't Facebook click 2. That's Facebook click 1 as well. And Meta says, oh, thank you for uploading Facebook click 1. I now know who these two are. This is the learning that I'm going to use. And then this gets attributed to whatever campaign brought that person there. So failed fingerprinting, it resets it. If fingerprinting is good, it has to use that same data. It always will learn on the original click. If it broke down afterwards, that's what we import as a good conversion. No, Meta, you were right the first time. Keep doing it. That's how these things scale quickly.
What would be the next step? Everyone's following this. Obviously, the feeder strategy is sort of the same kind of thing. You would like maximize clicks, and then you would do TCPA or TROAS on the Google side. But this is really within the Meta framework. What's your plan moving forward? Are you just going to stick with the maximize for checkouts or optimize for checkouts, or do you still want to ultimately transition over to optimize for the new customer purchase?
Yeah, it seems that we're doing like a 65-35 or at least like a 70-30 split. Yeah. Like the difference that we're looking at here week over week is what if they are 50-50 versus what if they were like 70-30?
Okay.
I mean, it's basically it's a 33-66 technically, but then, it's 15 and 5 or whatever it is. So it's like 35, 65. I don't know. Close enough. 2/3 versus half. Let's call it that.
Right.
So moving from half to 2/3, that's what's funny is inside says, yep, that was a good move. And then top line said, yep, that was a good move. So perfect. So keep this one at 60, keep this one at 40 in the ratios, and then add 20% to both. Yeah. Very simplistic. So what we're doing is we don't want to necessarily change the funnel as to which users are going through. We just want to exacerbate it. We just want to increase it. So don't restructure the funnel. Just pour more gasoline on it, essentially. And we're doing it with spend levels.
So on what kind of business would you recommend this specific strategy for?
This is lead generation.
Okay. So
technically.
Technically.
Now, we tried this again. This one is not ready for prime time yet. So please, don't judge this too harshly. We just made this change in our account on the 16th. But we are testing this in a macro sense, where from the 16th through the 20th, so let's just say this is the day of the change, we've spent about $70K on it so far. So $70K in the last 5 days. What we're attempting to replicate is kind of like a massive one big campaign with all of our products in it for lead generation, and then a bunch of small feeders. So essentially, this one campaign has, as an example, this one campaign has digestion, joint, and immune pills or supplements for dogs and cats. That's what's in this one. And then I have a digestion campaign using nothing but digestion ads. Then I have a joint campaign using nothing but joint ads, and then I have a immune campaign using nothing but immune ads. Reason why we did this is a few things that we're going to be testing, and this is my hypothesis. When we had this broken out by individual campaigns, the campaign that was spending the most was selling everybody everything anyway. I was selling 35 digestions. 23 of those are new customers. I was selling 110 cats. 54 of them are new customers. I was selling 17 joint products. 8 of them are new customers. I'm like, we keep getting new customers from all of our products, but we can't scale one at all very well. So if we start to spend in campaign B, campaign A looks better. Okay, that's because they can be the last click. They are most often the last click. Why? Because they spend more. If you have 10 chances to get a click and you have 1 chance to get a click, on average, you're going to have 90% of the clicks. Right. So this campaign always made itself look good. So we said, okay, well, what if we leverage that? So what we did is when we optimized for a new campaign, now I have 1 new campaign for new customers. And this is just going to have all of the ad spend dumped into it. And then these other campaigns are just going to continually increase the ad spend and the creative, which are cloned in this campaign as well. And we're going to scale these campaigns to see, can this campaign get more and more and more efficient?
Interesting.
And so that's the hypothesis. So far,
what is the big campaign optimized for, by the way?
Is it new customers across the board, whatever they buy?
Doesn't matter what it is. It's not any specific price. NC purchase.
Yep, it's just purchase. All of them are purchase NC. Okay. It's because what we're actually finding as well is, there we go. So last 2 days, same flat spend, 3% in the last 2 days. So we've been running it for 4 days. The last 2 days compared to the first 2 days, same spend, new customer costs are down 33% into the 200s. We haven't been there in about 3 months. And then new customers are increasing 56%. So time lag, but it's still moving. Right. So far, so good. But check this out. This is what I thought was super, super, super interesting is because we're restructuring and because we're optimizing for all new customers, this campaign now has its prospecting unleashed. The reason why is because with overlap, if the main campaign that has the most amount of spend is getting all the attribution from other campaigns that actually brought the user to the person in the first place, the click-through rates and activity of that main campaign will be snuffed because that's always the last thing just beating the crap out of people. We wanted to change the narrative to what if that main campaign was our main prospector, and then we can influence that campaign sales by feeder strategy levels of increased traffic that has to go follow along with. So when looking through the that sort of lens, we said, well, okay, if that is true, yes, we already can see that the last 2 days are twice as good as the first 2 days, so it is trending in the right direction. But let's also, okay, there we go. Let's also look at some other things here. I would expect that if that was the case, our CPC would be much better. I would expect our CTR to be much better. I would expect our CPMs to be about the same. Right. And so what we can see here is that our CPC is down 43%. So we were spending 44. I don't know why this thing just doesn't sort well, but you can just look at the bottom metrics here. But our CPC went from 44 cents down to 25. It saved 43% on our cost per clicks. Our click-through rates went from 7 to 12. Jeez. A 68% increase in click-through rates. This main campaign, all product, is still hovering
around that 11-12%. Yeah.
Basically 11-12% here. So it's still holding. The old campaign, that big one, I wish I could show it to you, but yes, that old campaign was that's the cat one. I forget what the other one, the big one here. I hate what is that? That's a feeder. Feeder.
It's not sorting by your either spend or impression or anything.
Yeah, I was hoping that I can sort descending by spend somewhere. It just doesn't look like it's actually trying to listen to me at all. So I don't know.
It's the damn gem update. It's
there
gem and lettuce together.
Right? Baby lettuce.
Baby lettuce.
Gem lettuce is gross. Baby gem lettuce.
Slather a little Andromeda on top, and you got a disgusting sandwich.
Get some Google breadsticks while you're out there. All right.
So
there we go. This was our big campaign there. That was getting that was when we were spending the same amount of money. That was getting a 5. And now the all products campaign is 11. So that's where we see a 68% increase in there. And then lastly, I expected the CPMs to be about the same. Let's check. 33, 32. So they get 4% better, but I'm not going after anybody different. So it makes sense. So the click-through rates are increasing 68%. Why? Because it went from the biggest campaign doing the most amount of marketing to now the biggest campaign doing the most amount of prospecting. Okay, that's excellent. And then the click-through rates are dropped 43% because of those the CPCs dropping 43% because the click-through rates are increasing 68%.
Right.
Now, when we go into the back end of our site,
like you're just scooping up what's left over from the initial campaign.
And the campaign's no longer restricted by a certain product. I'm asking myself, I'm like, do we really care what products that sell? Not really. So it's like, if we don't really care what products sell, why are we really forcing spend on it if we just want a massive amount of increase in sales?
That was kind of my question to you, actually, before we show this, is like all those individual follow-up feeder campaigns, you're not optimizing for the conversion new customer for that specific product. It's just purchase NC. Why wouldn't you do it for the individual product? Or is that just splitting too many hairs, making it too fine?
Human interaction and last click attribution ends up killing itself.
Right. Okay.
Because this one is doing all of the work.
That's right.
That one takes all the credit. So if I was like, hey, if you guys can high five yourself up, if anybody sells anything ever, at least I can have at least a concerted effort to put 142,000 in reach in products that I want. And I don't care if they're a new customer here, or here. Don't care. MMM dictates spend. So as long as they're new customers and people that are like wanting to buy joint and then buy digestive and maybe later joint, am I prejudiced against them? No, cash is cash. I'm like, hey, let's just roll with it. So that's what we looked at here is remember, the spend between these two date ranges is 7% difference. Went from 52 grand to 56 grand. So we only spent $3,000 more. So 7% increase. Our traffic on Facebook went up 92%.
Jeez.
So this is the date range here, 17, 18, 19, 20, compared to 13, 14, 15, 16, which is the exact same comparison here. So now our traffic is up 92%. I do already see more sales coming from Facebook, less from Instagram. That's okay. This one's up 1,000. That one's down 300. Yeah. My sessions here have gone up 66%. My add to carts have gone up 35%. My reach checkouts are up 20%. My completed are up 10%. So this is working extremely well here as well. So what's nice, it's exactly what we're trying to do now is see how this is going to start to convert. Our recharge subscriptions are down a little bit, but our online store is already up 1.3%. So far, so good. Shop's up 180% and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to need to give this time because, yes, these metrics will normalize and some people will fall off and that kind of stuff. But all of our pages are up. I mean, every single metric, according to social, is up. And that's what we're going to, how is Google search going to look? How is Amazon going to start to look? Like we have to look at all of our media that we're going to be going through. But our media tracker that we're following here, this is where we'll be able to see in this week of the 16th that's coming up here. I'll be able to kind of hop back on and share the results. But so far, a restructuring and going after a massive amount of new customers works well. The one reason I didn't cover that also this thing fails on is because it's last click attributed. The campaign that ends up doing that remarketing artificially takes that sale, but only after kicking the crap out of warm traffic. So that's where, what is that algorithm going to tell it to do? As long as you have people that are coming to the site, you can go and remarket them and you will earn money. It is first click attributed that we're sending in, but it's last click self-attributed as what the spend is going to go to and telling us what the creative is working. So we essentially just reversed it to a bunch of small feeders that we're going to scale up. But if I'm spending X amount of money on ads between all of the campaigns, now I can look at what money do we spend on each one of these products and what is the revenue. And I do have an area to simply crank up.
So you're not optimizing for first click purchase new customer, or you are?
We are, but
you are.
Meta changes the attribution to last click.
Right.
The reason why we send in first click and then it changes it to last click is simply due to this here. Meta thinks that there's one person here and one person here, and it believes that person A went to the site and added something to cart. Then they hop over to their iPad and they go back to their cart and buy. Meta's like, well, these are two different people and one didn't work because it fails fingerprinting, right? If this is a person that is now lost in fingerprinting, that's the biggest reason why attribution doesn't work is the entire journey is fragmented, is broken down, it's shattered because they look like individual people because they can't tie them together. Yeah. So what we do is we say, watch this. This is FB click 1. So imagine like Facebook click ID equals 1. This is now Facebook click ID equals 2. And what Meta is going to think about is, okay, these are two different people if it can't string them together. So this person that clicked and went to the cart and I thought was really good, they died. Okay, well, that person that left that didn't work kind of looks like this person, so stop going after these people. Well, when I bring it back together, I say, no, Meta, this actually, don't look at that. That's wrong. That's incorrect. This isn't Facebook click 2. That's Facebook click 1 as well. And Meta says, oh, thank you for uploading Facebook click 1. I now know who these two are. And then this is the learning that I'm going to use. And then this gets attributed to whatever campaign brought that person there. Yeah. So failed fingerprinting, it resets it. If fingerprinting is good, it has to use that same data. So no matter what, it always will learn on the original click. If it broke down afterwards, that's what we import as a good conversion. No, Meta, you were right the first time. Keep doing it. That's how these things scale quickly.
That's why it's so important for the First-Click CAPI Imports.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're training that we always sort of joke about it like we're training Meta to be a better Meta, but Meta is pretty good on its own. But without this, there still is lack of visibility.
Yeah, but it's just leveraging itself. We have that one tablet, the fabulous company.
The fabulous tabulous.
The fabulous tabulous. And what's funny about this here is this is before that we see before we have CAPI imports. So we just launched with CAPI imports now. That is something that has already went live and it's going to be gaining data. But what we had this campaign here on was the pre-CAPI imports here. I believe
ran no CAPI imports for how long?
Like a month.
About a month. That's right.
Yeah, about a month. And I think this time period here, we actually scaled up a little bit in ad spend. Now, we already did this here, and I think we already showcased this, I think. But oh wait, I don't know why I'm getting the wrong data. I don't want that. I don't want cost per result or purchase ROAS. That's dumb. I want costs.
All the tools we used to use, but we now no longer use.
I know, right? Like ROAS. Who cares about
purchase ROAS? That used to be it. Anyway,
right? So we were spending
2019.
I know, right? Like you think attribution works.
Yeah. Right.
But when we did this here, when we increased our spend from $50 a day on average to $75 a day on average, that actually happened on the 5th. And so what's funny is this thing going from the 5th to the 18th compared to the previous period, we scaled up 55%. It says that we have a cost per result that went good. We went from 8 sales to 14 sales, and that was from the 5th to the 18th. Now, if we actually look in the back end of Shopify, because we're only really running Meta on this company.
This was 15 and 8. I forget the purchase numbers.
So between the 5th and the 18th, it went from 8 up to 14.
14 to like 8 to 14. Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was November 5th to November 18th. Now, November 5th to the 18th here, compared to the previous period, we actually increased 70% in orders to 46. So which one are you going to believe? Now, imagine Meta, which is super strong, which uses baby gem lettuce, doesn't have enough information at all.
Rip of Andromeda.
Yeah, with just a touch of a crouton. If this thing said it only gained 6 sales instead of like the 20 that it made, or 25 that it actually, or 20 that it increased, what is that telling the creative targeting? What's working? It's telling it a fragment of a story.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important for this to actually be attributed correctly.
Yeah, that's really the bottom line. Without that, you're only giving what we always say they're modeling and or missing 40 to 60% of your data.
Exactly right.
In Meta, even with all these updates, like you're still blind to it. Remember, the ATT prompt and those blockers and all the other privacy things, those are still real. Like Meta is trying to make it up as much as possible, but it still is falling short. But Ads Manager is a hell of a lot smarter than it was because of Andromeda and Meta lettuce update, gem, all the other sorts of things. The point is like without this data, without First-Click CAPI imports, none of it is as effective.
Right.
And you can't really optimize. And it's plain as day right there. Like look at the two platforms. Meta's missing how many? There was 46 versus what?
So
21?
It was, oh, and this is the best part. You want to see the funniest thing? So yeah, it says, hey, you went up by 6, but we went up from
22
40,
rather. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was basically 70% up to 46. Now watch this. We scaled up only inside of Facebook, and that's looking good. And Google is up 35%.
Of course.
So if you're anybody else, you say, Facebook did really good, but why are we increasing spend on Google? That's looking pretty good this week.
Yeah, let's ramp up that.
Yeah. You know what? Actually pull some money out of that because look how much Google went up. That was better. So, and that's where people die.
You know, we haven't railed on that in quite some time because we've moved on to other things. But if you're new watching this,
yeah,
like that is just a basic, like we sort of take that for granted, but I think it's good to bring it up every now and then. If you're spending a lot on Meta, and then not everyone's going to buy on Meta. They are going to Google your name, or if you have an e-commerce store, like probably Amazon. If we did Amazon here, we would probably see an increase as well. These guys sell on Amazon.
Oh yeah, so there's increases on Amazon as well. And what's so funny is this is the conversations that everyone has. All right, Ralph, I know that you and your team are working hard and everything, and you increased Facebook, and you went up how much? 50%. Oh God. Horrible performance. We only went up 27%, but you know what? Google went up 50.
Yeah.
You should have cracking up. Yeah. Should have shoved it there. That happened anyway. Be like, hey, you need to get out of my job and back into yours because I need creative and new products, not you misinterpreting metrics.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and without knowledge of a product, just randomly Googles your name.
Yeah. Wake up and is like, I wonder if FabTab's a thing. I wonder if they make cleaning products too. Honey, what are you talking about? I don't know. I had a dream.
I'm just randomly Googling like F and T, you know, fantabulous. The point is like, it doesn't work that way.
No.
And it never has, and it never will. And I think it's an important thing to reiterate here is that everything, when you're in interruption marketing on Meta, that is how the world works, is that the last click, Google and Amazon are going to gobble up that last click and claim credit for it. Yeah. But that's okay because that never happened without your brilliance over on the Meta side.
Exactly right. And that's what's funny is the biggest lie that we ever try to believe or tell ourselves is that we can use in-platform data to really help us understand what people are thinking about. Not clicking, not doing, thinking about.
Thinking about. Yeah.
Like we showed them that ad, but they didn't click, so they must have hated us. Like, no. No.
Unbelievable.
They just scrolled and said, that's cool.